Does your child struggle with vowel sounds when reading and writing? Is she having a hard time remembering the vowel sounds, telling them apart, way more than with consonant sounds? If that's the case, first of all, you're not hallucinating. It's very common for kids to have more trouble with vowels than with consonants. And also, this video is for you because I'm going to share with you some hand gestures or cues or hand movements, whatever you want to call them, that you can use to teach your child the vowel sounds. This is a very powerful technique, not the only one you can use, but one of my favorites. And if you stick around until the end, I will share with you a couple more you can try. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so for the letter A sound you're going to pretend that you're bringing an apple to your mouth, and then you're going to open your mouth as if you were about to eat it and say apple. You may even want to use a real apple for this. Apple. Okay, moving on to the letter E. So for the letter E sound as in elephant, you're going to curl your arm like an elephant's trunk in front of your nose like this, and you're going to say elephant. The elephant is curling its trunk and saying, I'm an elephant. Okay, moving on to the letter I sound I as in iguana. So you're going to place one hand on the top of your head like this, like a little crest or spike, and then you're going to stretch your neck forward and tilt your head side to side, like an iguana peeking around. Then you're going to say I says I as in iguana. Stretch like an iguana. Okay, moving on to the letter O. The gesture for the letter O sound O as in octopus is going to be this one, making a circle with your hand and saying octopus. Okay, moving on to the letter U, sound as in umbrella. You're going to take your left hand and make a little U shape using your thumb and your index finger. Then you're going to place them just under your chin, and you're going to tell your kid that this curve, this shape, is a little upside down umbrella. And now you're going to say umbrella. Hi, did you know that these cues, these hand gestures, are the same ones I use in my course on teaching foundational literacy skills to children? You can start teaching these skills to really young children, preschoolers, setting them up for reading success. If you're interested in knowing more, there will be a link in the video description with more information and to register your interest in the course. And now let's continue with the video. Okay, let's move on now to understanding what makes vowel sounds more difficult than consonant sounds, and also, as promised, as you stick around, I will share with you a couple of extra tips. Okay, why are vowel sounds especially tricky for children? I think it's important to understand why in order to make better decisions when teaching reading, okay? Okay, it all has to do with how the sounds are formed. Consonants make sounds that are sharper and clearer than vowel sounds. Why, you may be wondering? Well, because when we produce consonant sounds, we limit the airflow somehow. We may even stop it, okay? To do that, to block the airflow, we use our lips, our tongue, or our teeth. And this produces sounds that are more distinct. However, do you know how vowel sounds are produced? Actually, do you know the difference between a vowel sound and a consonant sound? Well, the difference is that with vowel sounds, there's no air obstruction, okay? No air blockage at all. Our mouth is fairly open and we just let the air go without putting any friction, any obstruction to it, okay? In other words, in vowel sounds, the air leaves the mouth without blockage by the tongue, the lips, or the throat. So how do we even distinguish the different vowel sounds, right? How do we tell them apart? Well, it's harder. It's definitely harder, but we can tell them apart because we change our mouth shape, okay? For instance, with the sound, our mouth is wide open, and our tongue is flat. However, when we produce, for instance, the sound, as in elephant, our mouth is not wide open, it's still open, but we close it a little more, and then we position our tongue closer to the roof of the mouth. E. However, listen. E as in elephant, I as in iguana. They sound pretty similar, right? Anyway, don't want to digress too much, that would be a topic for another video. And I think you get it by now. In vowel sounds, we let the air flow without any blockage, making less distinct sounds than consonant sounds. Okay, so how can we use this information, apply what we now know to help children with vowel sounds? Well, when they struggle, we can describe to them the shape of the mouth for the different vowel sounds, and that awareness can really help them. You can tell your kid, for instance, for the ah sound, open your mouth wide, like when you go to the doctor, say ah. When they make the O sound, as in octopus, for instance, your mouth looks like a round ball, octopus. Make your child aware of the different mouth shapes. Let your kid make the sounds with awareness. Okay, so that's an extra tip for you. Do you want another one? Okay, let's go. Well, if you've been following me for a while, you probably already know that I love embedded mnemonics, not only for vowel sounds, by the way. I like embedded mnemonics in general for learning all the letter sounds, vowels, and consonants alike, okay? They really help children associate letter shape to letter sound. So let's take a look at our Phonics Pals embedded mnemonic flashcards. And by the way, if interested in taking a closer look at them, I will leave you a link in the bio. And by the way, they also come with the course on foundational literacy skills that I mentioned before. Anyway, so for the letter A, we have an apple. And as you can see, the letter A looks like an apple or wears an apple costume, as I like to say, to help our brain remember the sound the letter makes. Okay, the letter E sound E looks like an elephant. The letter I sound I looks like an iguana. The letter O sound O looks like an octopus. And the letter U sound A looks like an umbrella. So you see how embedded mnemonics work, right? And by the way, this tip is like 2 tips in one actually, because associating a keyword to the vowel, having a keyword for each letter of the alphabet is also a great idea. Okay, so that's it for today. But if you're looking for information for teaching your child to read, have a good browse around the channel. I've been publishing videos for almost 5 years, I think, so there's a huge library of videos in the channel, tips and tricks, tutorials, reviews, anything to do with literacy, you're likely to find it. Bye and see you in the next video.